Solve problems about time. Study the example showing how to solve a problem about time. Then solve problems 1 through 6. Example: Amy had 1 hour to do activities. She talked on the phone for 5 minutes. She rode her bike for 15 minutes. She played a game with her brother for 25 minutes. How much time did Amy have left to spend painting a picture? Amy had 60 minutes to do activities. We know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Add the minutes for the known activities. So that is what the problem tells us. So we know that she spent 5 minutes talking on the phone, 15 minutes riding her bike, and 25 minutes playing a game with her brother. So 5 plus 15 plus 25 equals 45 minutes. Write an equation to find how much time Amy had left to paint a picture. So this P represents the time she has to paint a picture. So if she's already spent 45 minutes, 45 minutes plus how many minutes would equal 60 minutes, the total time that she has. And we know that 45 plus 15 equals 60. So that would give her 15 minutes to paint a picture. All right, this way, another way that you could write it would be P equals 60 minus 45. And this is kind of the way we usually think about it in class. If she has 60 minutes total to do activities and she's already spent 45 minutes, we can take 45 away from 60 and that would give us 15 minutes. So we know that she has 15 minutes left to paint a picture. Amy had 15 minutes left to paint a picture. Number 1, complete the labels on the number lines to represent the example problem. All right, so our number line starts at 0 and ends at 60, and it is counting by fives. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, all the way to 60. If you notice on the number line, the arrows are starting at 60 and going backwards. That's because she started with 60 minutes, and each time she does an activity, she is losing time. So she's going to go down the number line all the way until she gets to 0 minutes. This first arrow is just one small hop that goes backwards 5 minutes, which represents the time that she spent talking on the phone. All right, this next arrow goes 5, 10, 15 minutes down the number line, and that would represent how long she rode her bike. All right, the next arrow goes from 40 backwards 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, which would represent how long she played the game with her brother. All right, and that gets us right here in between 10 and 20, which would be 15. Look at the number line in problem 1. What does the dot at 15 represent? All right, so if she started at 60, she spent 5 minutes on the phone, 15 minutes riding her bike, 25 minutes playing a game. That puts her at 15 minutes left until she gets to 0. So 15 minutes left to paint a picture. Number 3, Milo visited an amusement park for 3 hours. He rode rides for 50 minutes, played carnival games for 40 minutes, and ate food for 30 minutes. He spent the rest of the time waiting in lines. How much time did Milo spend waiting in lines? Write and solve an equation to find the answer. So we want to know how much time did Milo spend waiting in lines. All right, first I need to know 3 hours equals how many minutes? I know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So 3 hours would equal 60 minutes 3 times. So 60 times 3, which is 180. So 3 hours equals 180 minutes. known activities, again, that is what the problem tells me. So I know that he rode rides for 50 minutes. He played carnival games for 40 minutes. And he ate food for 30 minutes. So he has already spent 50 plus 40 plus 30 minutes doing activities, and that is a total of 120 minutes. All right, so my equation needs to tell me how much time he spent waiting in lines. So if I know he was there for a total of 180 minutes, and he spent 120 minutes doing the activities, that leaves me with 180 minus 120. 8 minus 2 is 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So that leaves me with 60 minutes that he had to spend waiting in lines. Number 4, tell whether each amount of time is equivalent to 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, A, 210 minutes. So I need to know if 210 minutes is the same as 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, well, I know, again, that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So 2 hours would equal 2 times 60, which is 120. So 2 hours equals 120 minutes. And if he spent 2 hours and 10 minutes, that means 120 minutes plus 10 minutes. So 120 plus 10 equals 130. So he spent 130 minutes. Well, 130 minutes is the time that we are comparing. All right, so A, 210 minutes, is that equivalent to 130 minutes? No. B, 130 minutes, is it equivalent to 130 minutes? Yes. And C, 1 hour and 70 minutes. All right, so I know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So 60 minutes and 70 minutes, I've got to add those together. So 60 plus 70, 6 plus 7 equals 13. So this would equal 130 minutes, which is equivalent to 130 minutes. So yes. Number 5, one of the fastest times for a 1,500 meter race is 3 minutes and 34 seconds. How many seconds is this time? Okay, well again, I know that if I'm talking about minutes now, I know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. All right, so if I have 3 minutes, that is going to equal 60 times 3, which is 180. So 3 minutes equals 180 seconds. All right, so how many seconds is this time? Well, 3 minutes and 34 seconds. So I can't forget about the 34 seconds. So I've got to take my 180 seconds. That represents 3 minutes. And I've got to add 34 to it. 0 plus 4 is 4. 8 plus 3 would be 11. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is a total of 214 seconds. Number 6, Bennett spent 4 hours at school today. He attended 3 70-minute classes. There is a 5-minute break between classes. Then he ate lunch before going home. How long did Bennett spend eating lunch? All right, so we know that he spent 4 hours at school, and he attended 3 70-minute classes. All right, so first I want to see 4 hours equals how many minutes? And if 1 hour equals 60 minutes, then 4 hours would equal 4 times 60, which is 6 times 4 is 24, and add my 0. So 240 minutes. So he spent 240 minutes at school. All right, he attended 3 70-minute classes. So I'm just going to kind of draw a picture here. I know that this is 70 minutes. This is 70 minutes. And this is 70 minutes. All right, so he attended 3 70-minute classes. There is a 5-minute break between classes. So here we've got a 5-minute break. And here we've got a 5-minute break. I'm just going to make sure you can see they're separate. All right, and then he ate lunch before going home. So he's eating lunch right here before going home. How long did Bennett spend eating lunch? So we want to know how long he spent right there. And we know that all of this has to equal 240 minutes because that's how long he was at school. All right, so to find that, I first need to add up what I already know, which is 70 plus 5 plus 70 plus 5 plus 70. All right, so I'm going to do 70 plus 70 plus 70, or I could do 70 times 3. So 70 times 3, I can use my multiplication facts to do this one quickly. I know 7 times 3 is 21, and then I can just add my 0. So 73 times is 210. All right, and then he spent 2 sets of 5 minutes in between classes. So 5 plus 5 is 10. All right, so he's already up to 210 minutes plus 10 minutes, which is 220 minutes. All of this adds up to 220 minutes. All right, so 220 plus what would equal 240? Okay, or if I think about it another way, I can do 240 minus 220 would give me how many minutes? So that's the way I'm going to solve it here. 240 minus 220. 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So that leaves him with 20 minutes for lunch. And that is my solution.